is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the Book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
In what might be a minor miracle, we're on the air on time 2 straight days, right at 2 p.m. Eastern time. How are you, boys and girls? Welcome into the Bostonian versus the Book here on a Wednesday. Dave Sharapan, Matt Perrault, live on Twitter, YouTube, and on Sports Grid replay at late night, midnight Eastern time every night on Sports Grid. Bucket hat day for you, Miss Sharapan. Is there a reason for the bucket hat today?
It's the All-Star game bucket hat straight from Seattle. So we had an All-Star game, and all I got was this bucket hat. And
is that a joke?
Some Mariners merch. But no, I mean, the Mariners, they were calling for Shohei to go there. They're going to be calling for the BVB to go there. That was pretty exciting. So
never been there.
Seattle's awesome. I told
never
you.
been. Only part of the country I've never been to. Pacific Northwest is the only pocket I've never been to.
Seattle in the summer is awesome.
Got to cut that.
In the summer. It's very nice. Didn't get no rain. Got a great game. Got a lot to talk about. While all the people are taking time off, or unfortunately getting shown the door or leaving and making decisions in this space all over the place. We just keep showing up.
July 1 is that
the guy
dark day.
The guy in Hardball,
get
his name off the top of my head, the main character, said 90% of life is showing up. I've never ceased to be amazed by your ability to show up, told those kids. And the kids told him we're going to the ship, not chip.
Sorry,
that's a whole nother story.
You've lost that argument. Real quick before we get into stuff that happened last night on the game, we just a little update on what happened yesterday and what's going on right now with my brother. So if you guys go to my Twitter account at Sports Talk Matt or really any of my socials, you'll see a link to a GoFundMe that has been set up for my brother's farm. In case you guys missed the show yesterday, it's been a really, really rough week for my brother. This is the floodwaters he's dealing with on all of his property. Basically, the catastrophic event they were really nervous about actually did happen. They were hoping to avoid it. It didn't happen at all. It's been a really harrowing morning for me because my father lives in Montpelier, Vermont, and Montpelier, Vermont is basically underwater. But my father is in Colorado on a hike for 40 days and he is unreachable. So nobody can, my family was reaching out saying, have you heard from your dad? And I said, well, he's in Colorado on a hike. Is his house okay? Because he lives in Montpelier and they've received about 9 inches of rain in the last 4 to 5 hours, I guess. It's just been an insane amount of water. So trying to find a way of contacting him, impossible because he's in the middle of nowhere on this. It's called the Colorado Trail. So he's on that. And then my brother is trying to figure out what to do with the farm. And so at last check, they had raised $80,000 in 24 hours. So community is really coming through. There's a Boston television station currently on its way out to Western Mass to shoot a story on my brother's farm as to what's going on. So getting some national or getting some regional television in Boston will definitely help that GoFundMe. But if you're at all able to, I've called on you guys a lot over the years to help. And again, I'm asking for help in any form or fashion. It's wild. People on the Discord channels and people on Twitter have been reaching out. I talked to a guy who actually worked with my brother, who was part of, he did sweet potatoes, I guess, with my brother. They did some type of exchange where they were boxing up stuff. And like, he told me a story of meeting my brother. And I was just like, this is crazy. Guy in our Discord channel saying he's on his way to Western Mass and Southern Vermont to help with the floods. It's what he does. He's part of a rescue. He goes in there and helps out when catastrophes hit. So I don't know if it's American Red Cross or who he works for, but he said, I'm on my way up there right now to go try to help the people who are dealing with this floodwater in Vermont, in Massachusetts. So it's getting pretty scary up there for a lot of people. So at Sports Talk Matt, if you guys want to go and read the full story, Liz wrote a heartbreaking 14, 15 paragraph explanation as to what's going on, what they're trying to do, what the money will go for, how they're trying to exist. And, this is not just, like we talked about yesterday, it's not just today or this season that they've lost. They've lost the fall, they've lost the winter. And I mean, there's a picture on their Instagram right now, a video of my brother on a kayak going through their cornfield that was supposed to have been harvested next week.
Jeez.
They were all set, ready to go. And he's in a kayak going through the rows of corn. That's how much water there is right now. It's, feet of water that's underneath. So it's been a really rough couple of days, and it's tough because today's supposed to be a really celebratory day. I'll get into that later, but today is a big day in my family. So it's one of those good news, bad news type of juxtaposition and, mixed emotions for sure. So if you can go do that, I would really appreciate it. At Sports Talk Matt to go and find that. Okay, let's get into the All-Star game for last night. I want to see the tickets. Elias Diaz, if you had him for the MVP, come on, show him up. I want to see these.
Oh, I don't think too many people had him.
What was the highest number you saw for him?
85 or 100 to 1
to be the MVP.
List. Like, it's the backup catcher for the National League. Like, there's no, they finally won a game, the National League, and the backup catcher won the MVP. That's a double zero on the roulette wheel. That's a sweep the board. Just click, 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 take all the chips. He won it. Great. Boom. Let's go.
Unbelievable. 2-run home run in the 8th inning. I thought that when they reviewed the Gurriel home run and they pulled it back and it was 2-1, I thought it was going to be 2-2. Took a long time to review it and then came back and overruled the call of a home run. I was like, man, I'm going to lose this thing 2-1. And then Diaz goes deep with a 2-run shot, which was, I think he was even stunned that he hit the home, that he hit it out of the park.
Well, he knew it was gone.
Yeah.
He knew it was gone. That was a big moment. I mean, I still love the All-Star game. I love watching it. I love the pageantry of it. I love the game. The sideshow that goes along with it with, the A-Rod now with Jeter and Big Papi. I mean, if we didn't get enough Yankees, Red Sox on the coverage back in the day, now we got the guys that were doing the Yankees, Red Sox talking about the baseball and stuff. Like, it's okay to throw in someone else once in a while.
No, their demographic, they know who they're talking to.
It's fine. It is what it is. The story of the game, though, it still, to me, was them chanting and cheering. I mean, like, the baseball gods put Julio Rodriguez in at the end of the game with the game on the line. You can't make this stuff up. It's still fun to get romantic about baseball. That and them calling for the guy to go up there. It was great. I love the local aspect of the All-Star game. Fans of the team still go to the game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, they walked him, which was somewhat anticlimactic when that happened, but
it was a good at-bat.
Good at-bat, yep. I mean, Kimbrel, he is still a white-knuckle ride. I mean, in pressure-packed situation, Craig Kimbrel's just not the dude you want.
Guy's got over 400 saves in his career. And it feels like it's a heart attack mostly every time that he goes out there.
Because it is.
Like, and that was his manager.
Yep. Leaving him out there for 28, 29 pitches.
And I was like, if he walks Rodriguez, is he going to go get him? And he was like, no, just finish this. I've seen this before. Go ahead. And I really thought Jose Ramirez was going to tie it up, and then we were going to get this home run derby extra inning thing.
Right? I mean, I think one day when that happens, everybody will be like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I hope that happens one day. Everyone, they're talking about it when it was going to be 2-2. They're like, wait, this thing might get decided on a home run derby. Didn't get it, unfortunately, but that's a really cool way, different way of settling it. What do you make of the lack of offense in these All-Star games?
It's I think the total is 16-1 or something in the last 17 games to the under. It's just like the Army-Navy game. It's just bet under. There's the pitching is better than the hitting in a one-off. It's the best pitching. When you start these games on the West Coast like this at 5:00, you couldn't see a thing in the beginning of the game.
Right.
Pitcher was in the sun. The batter was in the shadow. it's so hard to see the ball once it goes from light to dark. It's hard enough.
Right.
So I don't know. And then the guys that come in are as good or better than the guys that just left the game. So I don't know. Does it make sense to you? It's bet under. I can't believe that the total was 7.5. It should have been 7.
It closed at 7.
It closed at 7.
Yeah.
And again, that's fine. It's just like at some point you're going to see a 6.5. I don't
It's
know.
interesting. I mean, it's why I bet the National League because of the lack of Trout and the lack of Judge. So you're missing 2 large bats, obviously, from the American League side, but you still have so many hitters from the National League that, okay, so power pitchers are beating power hitting when it really counts. Like when it comes down to it in a short spurt, guys throwing 100, it's really hard to get hits off of them. It's really hard in one at bat because you don't see them one time, 2 times through the order. It's just, 3 outs and the guy's normally down. So I don't know. I mean, baseball is going to get concerned about this, I think. And because not everyone loves 3-2 baseball. Like people want to see offense.
I think only the purists do.
Yeah. So they're going to get worried about this. Eventually they're going to, I think they're going to start to tinker. My guess is they will tinker in some form or fashion, trying to get more offense going if they can. I don't think that they should, but it is really weird. Like, that game was lucky to go 3-2. Like it probably should have been 2-1.
Correct.
Should have been 3 runs being scored in that game.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Diablo 666 is in the chat. He said this: overall, the 2023 All-Star game was as great as watching the toilet flush.
See?
It's been a boring game for years. Diablo, a lot of people feel that way. The game's for the purists. I mean, we romanticize about the old games.
Right.
We remember we do the same thing with the NFL. We remember the NFL for what it was, the physicalness, the hitting. It was boring. It was a lot of running. Wasn't a lot of passing. Games were 21-17, a lot. 17-10. When the good defenses dominated, like, the Eagles and the Steelers
Patriots,
and the Bears.
Yeah, 07 changed everything.
They didn't, there wasn't scoring. So I don't know. I know this. People watch it. Now, whether they watch it all the way through, it's like what we talk about with the show. I mean, like guys come in and watch our show, they stay.
Mm-hmm.
They watch for an engaged period of time. 40 minutes is how long someone will come and stay and watch our show. That's the average watch time. How long do you think people watched that baseball game last night? 3 innings?
Depends on when they tuned in. Because if you got there late and you saw the Rodriguez drama, you weren't going anywhere. So, I mean, if you tuned that thing on in the 8th inning and it was a 3-2 game, you're like, all right, you watch the end of it. You're going to be stuck there through the bottom of the 8th, top of the 9th, bottom of the 9th. You were there. So that took a good half an hour. So you were watching it for 30 minutes. If you came on late, if you were there early, the middle innings was Boersville Central. Like the middle innings were rough.
The first 2 batters of the game flew out to the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
Great defensive plays by Acacia in right and Rosarena in left. Awesome plays. Great. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Kept you captivated if you're a baseball person. I don't think the casual fan watches those sports anymore. I don't think the casual fan, I'll say it out loud, I don't think the casual fan watches a whole game of anything anymore.
Start to finish?
They don't watch a game anymore.
Well, no, I think that they flip around.
Flip around.
Yeah,
I think they either watch apps or wait and watch highlights and clips on social media. They don't watch games no more. Whole game. They dive in.
Start to finish, I would agree with you. But I think people are jumping in and out just because that's their unfortunate ADD of the world. But I do think they watch, like someone's watching TV for 2.5, 3 hours straight. They're just watching multiple things. They're not just watching. I think double screening in sports is huge. Yeah. I think people are watching 3, 4 different televisions or screens at the same time.
Right.
So they are watching. They're just not glued to it the same way that they would be. So like, I mean, on an NFL Sunday, you okay? Where do you go? Where do you go? I don't know where he went. That's a first. I didn't see where he went. He went to go, I don't know what just happened. Okay. Hopefully everything's okay. It seems like he's back. Is he getting hats? I don't know what he's doing. What? Are you turning on your TV? Are you okay?
Yeah, God bless my mother-in-law. She has a setting set on the TVs that every time something Steelers comes up, it pops up a reminder to record, or do you want to watch it now?
Okay.
And if you don't hit dismiss,
right,
it stays on the screen forever. So I didn't have the remote with me because Pap and her love to watch the Steelers stuff. Anything Steelers from the past. You know what NFL Network's doing right now, right? They're replaying old Super Bowls.
Oh, cool.
They're replaying old videos.
They posted the best. I know NFL.com on Twitter posted the best ever Super Bowl for their first video. They posted a 2-hour video.
Was it Super Bowl, 14?
28-3.
Rams?
No, 28-3.
What?
28-3.
That was the best Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah. That's the best. That's the best game ever.
Oh, stop it.
Stop. What do you mean stop it? It's the best Super Bowl ever.
Oh,
100%. They're down 28-3 in the third quarter.
Oh.
They came back and won the thing. That's the greatest game ever.
Chef Benny, you're right. I have had enough of you. All of you. All of you.
It's the truth. I mean, 28-3. That's the best Super Bowl ever. Biggest comeback in NFL history, Super Bowl history. That's why did the NFL choose to post their first 2-hour video? They said, let's put a 2-hour video on. First time ever. What did they do? That Super Bowl.
Sorry, Will. It's the same shit as this show. The guy that picked the list is a Patriot fan.
That's
just
true.
like you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Where was I going before you got up and walked? Because now I had something I wanted to bring up to you before.
The All-Star game lacking offense and people actually watching the game.
Oh, so when we're watching, like on an NFL Sunday or Saturday,
nobody watches one game from beginning to end.
But they watch 5 games. I watch 5 games beginning to end.
You watch 5 games on the screen. You're not watching one.
Correct. Right. I'm watching. I have multiple screens set up. I've got, I don't know. Right. We'll see what happens this year.
What are you looking at?
All of them. I'm watching them all.
I understand, but what are you watching? What are you looking for?
What's happening on I'm watching for what my bets are doing. I'm watching what guys, either prop bets or game side totals, first quarters, halves, whatever it is, whatever I've purchased, whatever I've bet, I'm watching, and I'm watching what's going on. So like I'm watching on my phone, I'm watching on my computer, and I'm watching on my TV.
Are you listening to any of it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, who gets the sound is really important. That's the biggest game of the day for me. Whatever I'm the most interested in, that's the game that gets the sound.
You leave it on that?
No, I move it around. 100%. Move it around.
So
depending on what's happening, especially, I mean, you can see it though, because the advertisements, at least on the Sunday ticket, you can see the advertisements on all the different games. Generally speaking, the ads are the national ads are all the same. They run them very similarly. The break structure is very similar. When you watch the Octabox, the 8 games on Sunday ticket, at least we did before YouTube had it. We'll see what this year looks like. But previously, you would see all the different break structures. You would know when the games are going. You'd see how they all kind of are timed out. You see when the NFL staggers it, how they want what game to go into what time zone, into what window. You see all that. Yeah. So, and college football is a very similar thing. I mean, I'm watching, 3 or 4 games at a time for college football. So baseball, I don't really do that. I could, but I don't. In the playoffs, we tend to have standalones, so you don't need to do that with baseball. So it's just funny because Madeline, I was at dinner last night with Maddie, and she said to me, we're talking about school because she's now 1 month. We're under 1 month from her starting 4th grade. And she goes, wait, I'm starting school. That means you're starting school. I said, right. And she goes, that means football's coming. And I said, yeah. And she goes, oh no. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, my weekends are totally different when you're in football season. I was like, yep, that's gonna happen. And I go, it's even worse this year because the proxy service on Saturday morning, we're done. But she's kind of used to it because I used to do things on Saturday morning, so she's used to like me working on Saturday mornings. But I'm like, hey, we're going to be out of pocket all Saturday morning, and then football for Saturday games, and then Sunday for the NFL. And she was just like, oh no. So yeah. We really do have 2 different lives. We have 6 month on, 6 month off. And we're about to enter the on period.
It's just 12 months on for me. Nothing changes. Like everything is the same. It's crazy.
Your workload doesn't change?
Same thing.
Oh, my workload is dramatically different in the fall. Dramatically.
Yeah, because everybody does football. So
yeah,
but like, nothing changes. Literally nothing changes for me. And I see it the way people consume games. I've seen it for 20 years in a book. All the games are on a screen. Everybody's watching their own thing. There's one game with sound.
Right.
It's the way people recreate their own watching experience. Multiple screens, a device that splits, all these things. Nobody's watching anything. It's on. You're watching it, but you're not consuming it. You're not engaged. You're not like, that's the hard part right now with sports. But don't tell the salespeople that. They're all selling that, they got all these eyeballs on it. And
well, they do have the eyeballs on it. It's just, do they remember it? Like, do they remember what happened? Do they remember the message? Do they remember the ads? I think a captive audience in sports, you do have a captive audience, but I think we all do this. We all put a game on and then go do stuff, walk around the house, do work, do laundry.
You're not watching anything. That's what I mean. It's on, but you're not watching it.
Right. I mean, I don't think anybody ever, I don't think even when I was 5 years old, I was sitting down and watching a football game start to finish. We're always doing stuff. The games are always on. People call you. Your mom needs something, your girlfriend, wife needs you to go do something. We're all doing something during the game. It's a long time. Even when there were 3 channels, it was still watching a football game was 3 hours. That's a long time.
Live with old people. They don't change nothing. They don't even get up to piss. They watch the game.
Okay, but what happens when millennials become old people? And they've never done that. Do they keep doing that? Like when the 25-year-old, like my sister is 24 today, when she's 64.
She's never going to watch a game in full, ever.
Right. So that changes. I think today's boomers, today's elderly people, today's older people, they are the ones who used to watch, we had 4, 5, and 7, 25, 38. Those are the channels. 56 came around when I was like 8, 9 years old. Those were the channels. Those were the channels. Those are the options that we had. So there wasn't really a benefit from flipping around. Just put the TV on, and also it was a pain in the ass because you had to get up and change the channel.
Sundays, growing up at our house, was watch the Steeler game at 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Watch most likely the Cowboys game at 4 o'clock.
Hate watch.
And what was the only thing on? It was, I grew up with Pat Summerall and John Madden.
We all did, yeah.
That's what you did.
Yeah.
You watched the game, and then you talked about it on Monday.
Right.
And then you watched Monday Night Football. And that was the football watching experience. So I still like to watch. I mean, I watch all the games, but I like to listen while I'm watching, pick up stuff, learn. But I'm watching the game different than a lot of people do. I'm watching it for different things. I'm watching it with multiple odds screens up,
right,
and trying to figure out what the number is, should be, where it's going to go,
right,
make a move. I mean, I'm watching the game last night, and I'm watching my odds, my sportsbook app. I'm 4 pitches ahead.
Right. Yesterday was brutal.
Was unbelievable how behind
it was.
The game broadcast was to my app.
I got the Diaz home run notification from Flash Score. I'm not kidding you. 2.5 minutes before the ball went out of the park.
Easy.
I couldn't believe it. I looked at Madeline. I was like, we were watching it. And I was like, home run. She's like, who? And I was like, this guy, watch. And she was watching, and she was watching.
It was 2 pitches away.
Yeah, she looked at me. She's like, when's it going to happen? I'm like, I don't know. This is unreal. I go, you know how hockey is, Maddie. Like, this is really unusual how long this lag is. And then it happened. And then the hit and the home run happened. I couldn't believe it. Last night was weird. I don't know if because it was on Big Fox.
Yes.
And so that created a worse lag because it was on the national bird. But that was bizarre from a lag perspective.
It's only going to get worse. You're going to see it, and football's all streaming.
Well, that's the thing. The YouTube, everyone is bracing, including myself. Everyone is bracing for what is going to happen with the Sunday ticket in week 1. YouTube's got a pretty big bar because DirecTV, sure, they're overpriced. Sure, they gave you way more than you actually watched and you paid for it and it was annoying. But they better have it buttoned up because Amazon was a worry and that was 1 game. This is, 8 games at a time. You got to be good, ready to go, and have it be a fun viewing experience for the audience paying for it.
you said it in the fall last year, and I tried it and I hated it. But
Mhm.
watching a game on streaming, couldn't change the channel.
Right.
I want the ability to change the channel. You take that ability away from me, guess what? I'm not watching that. Like
You can change. Well, if you're watching on YouTube TV, you can change the channel because YouTube TV acts like DirecTV or
yeah,
a cable.
exactly.
So
if
you
you
can
have all
change it.
YouTube TV, but if you have DirecTV and you have streaming, you can't.
No,
You-
correct. Yeah. If you want to go back to your cable, like if you're watching the Sunday Ticket and you have
can't do it.
cable and YouTube TV,
Yeah.
you can't go. You cannot. Toggling back and forth will take you forever to do it, and it will not
Correct.
be fun for
And
you
if
to
you
do
get
that.
the spinning wheel, there's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of challenges. Before I
Huge.
forget,
Yep.
I want to thank senior member, brigade member Roger Long. I got my box. I opened it
It's phenomenal.
yesterday. I got chaos going on here, but
Yeah.
I got the landline number. Stay tuned, Roger.
Okay.
Just if you see a number calling you that you don't recognize, answer it because I would text you, but I don't even know if you take texts.
It's a landline. You can't text it.
Yeah, you're right. You can't text a landline. Only
It's
the
a
way to
landline.
do that now.
Yeah.
I've mistakenly tried to text someone because I thought it was a cell phone. So yes. So Roger, stay by the landline today, and we'll have a meetup on the phone, old school style.
Very cool. By the way, have you seen what the temperatures on the strip on Sunday will be?
No.
118 degrees on Sunday.
Told you I lived in Phoenix before I lived here. Everything, it's crazy. God, the man upstairs, whomever has prepared me every step of the way without me knowing. After living in the Caribbean, moved back to Pittsburgh. Say, I can't live here no more. I want to live where there's palm trees. Don't go to the beach, Dave. Go to Phoenix. It's great. Your friend lives there. You get a job there. You'll be fine. He don't tell me that it's the hottest place in the United States other than Death Valley. I get there the first summer. I'm sitting at a red light with my top down, melting in the summer. It was 118 degrees, and I was at a red light going, I think my ear is going to melt off. Like, what am I doing? I'm
Right.
the only idiot in the city with the top down.
Right. Sun is
118 is, no matter what they say, hot, dry heat, desert heat.
no danger.
It's hot as hell.
It's dangerous. There's no debating it. It's absolutely dangerous. I mean, it was funny. I went out to go to the gym this morning and it was 95 degrees at 9 a.m. And I was like, oh, here we are. Welcome to summer. This is Vegas summer. Like it is this week. It has officially begun. And this is the countdown to the last week in July and the first 2 weeks of August. I have always said this since I lived here. And I saw it when I started coming here to cover AAU tournaments. It's the hottest 3 weeks of the year. It is always absolute inferno fire hot here for those 3 weeks.
The whole month of August is hot. They should not start school until September.
Amen.
Those first 2 weeks of walking the kid to school or trying to get in the car, burning up, then picking them up after school.
It's
It's
tough.
even hotter.
Yeah.
Like August is hot. I mean, I know we had an outdoor birthday party for Kylie. She's born in July.
Yeah.
It was like we didn't know, like we know now, but we invited people. We were all melting. Kylie was miserable as a baby. It was terrible.
I had to nix that this year because they talked about doing that for Madeline. I said, no one wants to be outside. Let's do a pool party. Nobody wants to be outside for a party, even for a pool party. No one wants to be outside.
You can do a pool party, but do it at sunset.
Yeah, it's
Do it at sunset.
yeah,
Like,
it's
let's have a
brutal.
pool party. It's from 5 to 9.
Right.
So you're out and,
Yes.
and it's okay. It's hot at the beginning and then it cools off and everybody's normal. Like you
Yeah,
can't do
normal
it
being
at
105,
noon.
but it was 105 yesterday at 8:30 at night last night.
Yeah, it was
was-
hot.
I was like, all right, we're dealing with some real heat. And by the way, Oakland, the A's, you better be prepared for this because if you guys wind up coming here, this story to me is turning into the greatest and worst soap opera in sports right now. So Rob Manfred made fun of Oakland, made fun of the A's fans. They got royally pissed off. They went on a whole barrage against him. So in order to save face, in my opinion, Rob Manfred then went and sat down with the city of Oakland, the same city of Oakland that he said, we're done with you. The city of Oakland said to Major League Baseball and the A's, we're done with you. But because people are up for re-election and because people want to make sure everyone's singing Kumbaya together, at least when it comes down and, we crossed every T and dotted every I, we did everything we could. They sat down again to have Oakland tell them this now new plan for how they're going to keep the Oakland A's in Oakland, even while they are still preparing everything to come and play here and trying to find where the A's will play in the interim after next season when their lease is up and the Coliseum will kick the A's out.
Are they going to do that?
Yes. The city's going to kick them out. Unless they have a deal to go and build a new ballpark. The city is going to say they're not going to let them play there because, in all honesty, they're probably going to demo that dump the second that they can. The land's too valuable.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Up there, yeah. Even the worst neighborhoods up there, the property is extremely valuable.
You still think A's are coming here?
I talked to somebody at UFC 290, somebody in the know, friend of ours.
Oh, okay.
I'll let him go nameless because
Right.
he did tell me some information. He told me that the A's are coming here, but he doesn't think they're playing where they're saying they're going to be playing.
Right. Same.
He thinks there's going to be a different place.
Same.
The ballpark's not going to be on the Tropicana site. But they are going to come here, but he's like, they're not going to build it where they say they're going to build it. They're going to have to go somewhere else in the city to build it.
Right.
Which is like, so what happens to the Tropicana then?
Stays.
Are you serious?
People have been trying to get rid of that joint for 30 years.
That thing's a cockroach. That thing just won't go away.
Will not go.
It won't die.
Will not go away.
Goodness gracious. If you guys
I
haven't
walked
been
through there the other night after the UFC.
Oh, God.
Because I park over that way.
Right.
So I walked through and I got close to it and I said, boy, I haven't been here in a while. I'm going to go
check it
out.
out.
I walked in and I was like, smells the same.
Yep.
Looks the same. Walked right. One through one door and then walked through a little 5 seconds through the casino and back out. I was like, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah, everyone's good.
Yeah,
it's what everyone's good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I still think they're going to come here. By all accounts, the politicians are going to make it happen, and people are not happy about it. People are frustrated. I still think though there's a chance for this. Yesterday, Rob Manfred, MLB expansion talks could happen pretty shortly after the Rays and A's stadium disputes get settled. Oakland's already started its relocation paperwork to prepare for the move for Las Vegas. So they're coming here, but where, we don't know. And like I just said, someone scuttlebutt flying around that the Trop site may not be where the ballpark actually gets built. But wouldn't it be better if the Rays came here? Wouldn't it be better if we took the Rays?
It'd be better for us. It'd be great.
Oh,
kidding me?
It would be so much better for the Rays to come here. Expansion, if they're going to expand to 32 teams, like a part of me actually wants the A's deal to die now. Because if that money is sitting there for somebody, right? $300 million, $400 million, whatever it is, it's sitting there for somebody to build a ballpark to play baseball in it. You know, Rob Manfred's going to stick an expansion team here. They're not going to let that money go away. Someone's going to go get it. I would 100% rather an expansion baseball team be here in Las Vegas than the Oakland A, than the Las Vegas A's.
It's not even close. They should leave the A's there, figure it out, work it out.
Yeah.
And definitely put an expansion team here. That would be great.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Do a countdown to when the team starts playing. You know, you make the announcement, you do the whole thing. I mean, we had experience with the Knights with this. It was a 3-year run up to when the Knights were going to start playing. T-Mobile Arena got built.
So silly. Like the whole thing was so it was fun and it was fresh. And I remember thinking this would so not work back east. Like this, nobody would buy this. Like it's just kind of a show.
Yep.
Well, baseball's different, but that's what would work here. Them throwing the A's on us and then saying we're going to build it here and not saying that the taxpayers are not going to pay, and they are. Like people are just they're going to start off
negative
with 2 strikes on them already.
Yeah. And people were mad about Allegiant. They were mad about the Raiders, but it's different because NFL is king. Everyone wants to watch football. Everyone wants to talk about football. And Allegiant has provided a lot of really cool things for the market. that weren't
that's
going
the
to come
key.
here.
That's the key.
Yeah.
That they've done other stuff other than Raiders.
Yeah. I mean,
You know?
look, you've had huge concerts come through. You've had gigantic events come through. You've had the NFL Pro Bowl that's been played here. You've got opportunities to have the Final Four that's going to be coming here now. So like, there's just different things that Allegiant provided the marketplace because there was a lacking, there was a hole that had to be filled. No one's clamoring for a 30,000 seat baseball ballpark that's a dome. Like no one's asking for that. I mean, now there's a big push to hold sporting events at the Sphere because it's such a popular thing right now on social media. Everyone's like, well, why don't we go play there? We know about the NBA arena that they're trying to build down by the South Outlets. We know about that. They're trying to do that by, in Southern Highlands and all down in the Henderson area. They're trying to build the NBA ballpark down there. And that's been talked about. All Net Arena. They've been talked about that. They haven't broken ground yet, but that's why the NBA is having the NBA Cup Final Four that's going to be here. It's why they have Summer League that's here consistently. Like this is a market where the NBA wants to have a franchise and they just need to build an arena. So that will work. We know the NBA will work, and we know that LeBron might very well be part owner of that expansion team when he retires. Right. LeBron's going to be the face of the team. Are you kidding me? It's going to be a home run here. Baseball in building this ballpark and giving them this money, this is why it doesn't feel right for people here. They're like, wait, what? And you're going to expand. Like if you're already going to go to 32 teams, give us one of those. Like we'll take one of those.
Careful. There's a lot of teams and a lot of arenas already here. We got UNLV's arena. We got the MGM Grand Garden Arena. We got the Dollar Loan Center.
Thomas and Mack could, right? Thomas and Mack could be like that. That arena is starting to show its age.
Of course. But I'm just saying, like, just building flashy new arenas and throwing sports franchises here all in a rush and going, you got to know people are going to go to the games. There's a lot of shows that come to Vegas, big time shows, bands, comedians. They don't sell out.
Mm-mm.
They create this, they artificially create, demand for their tickets.
Right.
There's signage all over, and the locals don't go because they can't afford it.
What was the Wynn show that just had to shut down, revamp everything, and then relaunch? I forget the name of it, but Wynn just did that. Wynn had put on a multi-million-dollar production.
Yeah.
And nobody went. Yeah. They had to shut it down, revamp it, do it again, and then relaunch the thing again. And it's doing better, but not doing anywhere near what they thought it was going to do.
It's crazy because we did 2 live shows at Circa, talked about it for a month, and had people come. Right. Like, but Kevin Hart has an arena sold to do a comedy tour, and there's empty seats because so
he did a lot here though. I mean, he did multiple birthday parties. Like he was everywhere. He was at Encore. He was at a strip club. Like he was everywhere. He made so many appearances. That guy cleaned up that week.
Yeah,
he did well for himself.
He did for himself.
Right.
But the place that hosted the venue is supposed to sell it out. Well, when you talk to people that do a lot of things down there, you work with a lot of people, you hear a lot of things. It's not all that easy. Like they have to, before they go and build a baseball stadium and try to say they're going to have people coming for 81 games.
27,000 a night.
From other cities and all this other stuff. We got a lot of good friends at a show. They ain't coming here to watch their baseball team play for the weekend. They might go to one game. They might wrap around, other stuff, whether it's signing up for a contest or, coming and hanging out, seeing a show. It's an expensive proposition to come and watch baseball series for the weekend.
Really is. I've only traveled, let me think. Red Sox games I have traveled to go see. I've traveled to Denver. I've traveled to Kansas City. I've traveled to, and then everything else I was in the city. Like I was in Houston. I was in New York.
Right.
Like it was in the city that I was in that I watched the Red Sox play. I've seen them play in multiples in Minnesota. I've watched them, like trips have concurred. It's matched up where the Red Sox were in town in the city that I was in. People don't necessarily travel for baseball. If it happens to be in your backyard or it happens to coincide with a business trip, you'll go to the game. You'll go watch your team. But like football is different. People will plan that out. Even basketball at times, people will plan that out. Hockey for sure. Canadians plan out their trips to Vegas all the time around when their team is going to play here.
Right.
That's why the building is the way the building is. So baseball here is such a difficult proposition, and it's being forced because baseball wants to get here before the NBA. And it's really obvious. they want to be in Vegas before the NBA does, because this is a very quick and not a very well thought out decision by Major League Baseball. They just figure, build it and people will show up. Okay, we'll see. I think people will go, but I think you're going to see average attendance between 10 and 15,000 most weeknight games here in Vegas.
Especially if it's a bad baseball team. And as soon as the NBA comes,
bye-bye.
You can forget about it. It'll be
better win. You have to win here. It is weird. Like every market says that, like you have to win here, but Vegas is a little bit more fickle because there's so many other things to do. You got to win. The Golden Knights winning the Stanley Cup. It's still surreal to me driving down the strip and seeing that gigantic at the corner of Spring Mountain in Las Vegas Boulevard, that gigantic new LED screen that's up there, and to see that cup home of the Stanley Cup champs. It hit me like 2 nights ago when I was driving past it. I was like, that is unflippin' believable. Like when you really stop and go, that really happened. That wasn't like a fever dream. That really actually happened. They won the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
Like, wait, what? Like, huh? So that's the bar now, right? I mean, the Raiders are going to see it. People are going to have to get really pissed off if the Raiders don't do well this year.
That's different. It's still not the local team. For a lot of people, the Raiders.
It's funny that we say that because sports talk radio people disagree with us.
Well, they have to. That's their job.
Weird. I know, but I've
lived here 20 years.
I agree, but people, the way that their program, the way their audience reacts to talk radio here in town, they believe they can talk the Raiders every single day for 3 hours, and people are going to be tuning in to talk about it and calling in to talk about it. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's local sports talk radio here in town is really heavy on the Raiders and really heavy
local sports talk radio in Boston's heavy on the Patriots, are they not?
No, they're heavy on all four. They talk about everything, whatever season it is. Right now it's football season, so and the Red Sox are
sports talk radio in Pittsburgh. As soon as the Penguins are done, it's talk about the Steelers nonstop. The Pirates get a mention here and there.
Right.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's talk about the Steelers.
Right. So that's football. That's what I mean. So Raiders. So this market is reacting the same way Pittsburgh reacts.
Yeah, they're trying to recreate that here. But the problem is that Pittsburgh has people that were born there. Their parents were born there. Their grandparents were born there. They lived it. Las Vegas has a city where they're lucky if one generation was born here. And if we have kids, at least our kids were born here. But there ain't nobody here. I mean, there's a very small pocket of people that have had the grandparents to parents to kids here.
Generational. Yep. Agreed. Yeah.
You know,
it's rare.
But it's hard to stay here that long, one. And two, the people that have been here that long were from somewhere else for the most part.
Came in.
And Vegas ain't their team.
Right.
They're Bears fans. They're Lions fans.
Right.
They're Vikings fans. They're Rams fans. They're not Raider fans. So good luck with that.
They're like me. Raiders are my number 2. I'm a Patriot fan full on. And then when the Raiders
root for the Raiders?
Sure, of course. Oh yeah. Same way I root for the Golden Knights. Same way. I mean, I love the Bruins. I love the Patriots. I love the Red Sox. I love the Celtics. But when the Golden Knights are on, I'm watching and cheering for the Golden Knights. And when I'm watching the Raiders, I'm cheering for the Raiders against the Chiefs, Broncos, against the Chargers. Absolutely, I'm cheering for the Raiders. 100%. I'm wearing Raider gear and I'm in. Let's go. Yeah, 100%. Okay. When the Patriots play the Raiders, I'm wearing Patriot gear.
Right.
I'm a Patriot fan. Okay. So that's the one team that I'm not going to cheer for the Raiders against the Patriots. But everybody else, hell yeah. You know how many bad markets I lived in my life, blessing or praying for the chance to go to a game to watch a team in the NFL in my home market? Never had it.
Oh,
never had it. I had the Texans in Houston, but I couldn't stand them. So I was never going to.
Why couldn't you stand them? It's the same situation.
Because they suck. Like really bad suck. Like historically suck. The division sucks. The team was awful.
They went to the playoffs a lot. Didn't they go to the playoffs when you were there?
No, I was only there for a year, and they were awful the year that I was there.
Oh,
Patriots played there. I went there watching the Patriots and covered it. That's it was no. I'm not I had no interest in the Texans whatsoever. I was there, like none. I have a lot of interest.
I think
in the
if
Raiders.
we had to do that content train, like we had to talk about the Raiders every day, you would hate the Raiders too.
No, that's not true. No way. I'd be I would love to cover the Raiders here. I would absolutely be. I'd cover them tomorrow. Somebody said, "Hey, Matt, go cover the Raiders." Absolutely, I'd be in. I find that team fascinating. That team is really interesting.
Patriot guys, no.
See, I would 100%.
That's why you didn't want to cover them. Okay,
just saying. There's a lot of people that I know, and a lot of guys I've watched, and a lot of coaches I've covered and talked about for a long time. I would be 100% interested in the Raiders to go ahead. It's the Patriots West,
right?
So
I guess so.
I mean, look where the quarterback was last year, and look, the backup came after Carr got hurt, and so you had. Jared Stidham was supposed to be the guy, and now it's not. Now, oh, wait, it's Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, where's he from? Right. Who drafted him? Who developed him? Right. So there's 9 players with Patriot ties, the whole coaching staff, basically Patriot ties. So I am 100% interested in the Raiders. Yes. I think it's very interesting. A couple more baseball things. MLB, the PA over this break has now requested to Major League Baseball to elongate the pitch clock for the postseason. Now,
to what?
We're taking, well, first, remember, the extra inning rule is changed. No ghost runner in the postseason, just equally acknowledging how stupid the rule is because we're not doing it in the playoffs. So that rule is gone, just like shootouts
the
in hockey.
Shootout rule in the hockey.
Which is stupid in hockey too. So both rules, that both leagues are acknowledging that their mistake.
They're
about having
acknowledging that the regular season needs
doesn't
to be,
matter.
Shortened.
Right.
And we can't have extended games, but in the playoffs, we don't care because it's playing for real. Yes.
Right. So now they're saying, okay, since you're changing that, we want to make the pitch clock longer. So the pitch clock is 15 seconds.
Right.
When no one's on base, 20 seconds between pitches when someone is on base. So that is cut nearly 30 minutes down from last season. So per game.
Yep.
So now they're asking that they would want it to be elongated. They would like to add, quote, a few extra seconds onto it. So they're not really saying what number they want, 15 to 20. They're not saying they want like 20 to 25, but they would like to have it be elongated. I think we should get rid of it in the playoffs.
Oh. You know why they want it longer?
Well, pressure-packed situations, a closer coming in, high drama. It's the playoffs.
No.
What?
Sell more ads. Games are longer. They need it to be longer. The games are too short.
But the
postseason games have the biggest audiences.
But, okay,
has nothing to do with the players or the coaches or anything.
Let me push back for a second. The PA makes no money on the playoffs.
No?
Zero. No. PA is played. The PA is paid in regular season revenue. They're not paid in the playoffs. That's why the Players Association always wants shorter playoffs, not longer.
Salaries go up the more people watch the games, right?
I mean, there's a long way of getting to that point, but regular season game ratings means more to the PA than postseason ratings do because they don't make any money on that. Contracts are paid out.
Money if it's the longer games. There's more concessions. There's more everything.
But the PA doesn't make. I'm serious. The PA, they don't make any money off that. Like that's
the
players get
paid
paid
out there
to help Major League Baseball. Why?
Well, they're putting it out there.
I think they actually care about the game. I think they're talking about it from a game perspective and a player perspective because some guys are going to get rushed in the playoffs, and they don't want to be rushing it.
So they're going to add 5 seconds to the clock. That's what they're saying.
That could matter. That could matter.
It doesn't give a number. It just says we want a longer
few seconds. Clock. It just says a few seconds. They're requesting it to be elongated for a few seconds, which won't make the game that much longer.
Yeah. The league floated it to the Players Association guy. Say this so the players listen to you. You think the players went to the Players Association? You think the players go to the Players Association and say, hey, put it out there that we want a longer clock for the playoffs?
In the playoffs. Yeah, I could see that for sure. From a competitive standpoint, yeah, I could see teams that are competitive in the chase to win it all saying, man, this 15 seconds between pitches is really fast in the playoffs. In a 2-1 baseball game in the 8th inning, I got to speed up my reliever, get him out there fast, get him to move it. He needs some more time. I would get rid of it entirely. I would just say in the playoffs, forget it. Play the game. Don't need it. Like Give me the drama. Give me a 5-hour baseball game. I don't care. It's a playoff.
You're not going to watch it anyway. You just said before you don't watch the games in full. You do other things. People that actually sit and watch a baseball game like the pitch clock because it
playoff
makes
games
the viewing
are
experience
so
better.
different. I know, but playoffs is so. I do watch start to finish baseball games in the playoffs. Of course I do. When the Red Sox are in the playoffs, I'm watching every pitch. 100%. I'm analyzing every pitch.
The Red Sox aren't in the playoffs. Are you watching it?
Yeah, of course, I'm not watching it I'm not glued as tightly unless I have a bet on it. If I have a bet on it, then yeah, I'm glued tightly to it. If I have a bet on it, but if I don't have a bet on the game, I'm watching it. I'm paying attention to it just to see.
It's on, but you're not watching it.
Yeah, in-game opportunities. If there's a number I like,
Exactly.
if the game. So like but it's to me. If you tell me a playoff game is going to be 2 hours and 40 minutes or 2 hours and 50 minutes, I don't care. Like I'm watching the game regardless. They're not going to bother me if the game's 10 minutes longer if it's a playoff game. So I would get rid of it entirely. I would just go play baseball in the playoffs. Like just forget it. If a guy takes a long time, who cares? It's just part of the game.
Well, the
part of
players
the
have
drama.
gotten used to it.
That's
It's
true.
working.
But the Ghost Runner, they're used to the Ghost Runner too. So what does that tell you? They don't care.
The Ghost Runner is the best rule in extra innings ever.
Oh,
It's the best thing ever.
the worst.
It's the best, absolute best thing ever. I don't think they're going to change a thing. I don't think they're going to. I think they're just putting it out there. It's working. It's the way it is. Unless they need more time for the games. I mean, if games can be buttoned up start to finish in less than 3 hours, isn't that ideal for everybody?
Probably.
I mean,
it's not
the only one who loses is that they don't get as many ads in.
The beer guy loses.
Yeah, the beer vendor does lose. I
He
mean,
loses.
although they fixed that because they were very responsible about stop selling beer in the seventh inning, and it said, what? It's going a little fast. You know what? Let's move that thing to the eighth. Load up. You can only get a couple, but load them up before you go 1, 2, 3, top of the ninth. Go to the parking lot. Sit in the car for an hour though, because you may be buzzed. I mean, think about it.
Right.
Come on.
It's not really logical, but that's so. I don't know. I mean, I think baseball is going to have a lot of these conversations over the next couple of years about how they tweak and turn around with the pitch clock, because some pitchers have had is it the shift or is it the clock? We'll figure out eventually what it is. But some guys are a very different pitcher this year than last year.
They're getting it together though. Like the guys that it affected in April and May are starting to,
figure it out.
They're starting to figure it out. The shift is, if you were asking me what affects it more, baseball or pitchers, it's the shift minus 8,000.
Huge. And I love the fact that they banned it. That's the best rule change.
Worked.
It's awesome. That's never should have been a thing. Rovers never should have been a thing in baseball. It's good that they've gotten rid of that and changed it. The game looks, again, the fact that we have ground balls up the middle again makes me very happy. I love it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. I love it. Like, give me a up the middle, over the mound, for hopper, over the mound, over second base, into center. That play is back.
Yes.
Which is awesome. And then they're running from second, rounding third, center fielder, firing it to the plate. That play at the plate is back now because the shift is gone.
Yeah, but there's that obstruction rule at the plate that nobody can figure out.
That's a problem. That's the next thing that's got to be addressed.
It's a whole nother issue. Like they got that right again, and then you can slide. The catcher fielded the ball, but he came across too fast and all this other stuff. Don't get me started on the obstruction.
The obstruction rule really needs to be changed. But two more baseball stories.
Yep.
One, MLB rule changes have led to more betting. This, according to our friends at sportshandle.com.
Yep.
We talked about this. No surprise here, right? The bettors are now betting more on stolen bases.
No, not at all. Actually, we talked about this before the season started.
Yeah.
I said it both here and on MLB Network. It's hard to quantify at the beginning. So the numbers are not good, like that the books are offering, because odds makers sometimes guess too.
Right.
And people find opportunity where there's opportunity betting. There should be more betting on it because there's more stolen bases. It's back. Like the stolen base is back. But like,
wow. I just read in part of this story, I didn't realize that the Reds are 23-7 since calling up Cruz.
Yes.
30 games. That's seismic. That's seismic.
Yeah, I got it right here. Hold on. Let's see.
He's the first player in Major League history to notch 40 hits and 15 stolen bases in his first 30 games in the big leagues.
I should have sent this to you for the show. Best record since June 1st. Braves are 27-6. The Marlins are 24-12.
That's stunning.
The Reds are also 24-12.
Since June 1st?
Since June 1st. And
wow.
The Phillies are the next best record at 23-11.
See?
So, like, all those that the Phillies were dead.
Yep.
Relax.
There's still value in Philadelphia. There's still value there to win the NL pennant. There's value in that bet.
I mean, that's the best record since June 1st. 3 of them are in the NL East.
I don't buy the Marlins, even though I love the Marlins. I have that bet on them for over 76.5 wins. I don't buy the Reds, even though they're a lot of fun. But I buy the Phillies. I don't think that goes away in the second half. I think they're going to be relevant. I think the Phillies are going to be relevant.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're going to have something to say about what happens in the playoffs. I think when you get into the play, as long as they get a wild card, which I think that they should, there's something, the playoff experience you get after you go through a war like last year and get to the championship round.
Right.
You believe like you're not going to be nervous. You're not going to be doubting yourself. Like you're in the tournament. You know what it means to be in the tournament. They're going to be a tough out. Yeah. Whoever plays them in that first 3-game series, they're going to be a tough out. I wouldn't want to play them.
No question. I mean, I had them last year. Like that was the one that would have been one of those ones I'd have talked about the rest of my life, going to pick up multiple streps.
Right.
Like it was one of those take a shots and it was very close to coming to fruition. They're not out of it at all. They're very live to be dangerous the second half of the season and have a nice October run.
All about the pitching for them. It's all about what their pitchers are. And the pitchers have been great since June 1st. Really, really good.
It's just like the lines on the nights. You know what you're getting with the 1 and the 2.
Yeah.
It's the 3, 4, 5. And the Phillies are getting some pretty good starts from 3, 4, 5.
Right now, yeah.
If you can do that, it works better for everybody. So yeah, they're going to be there.
All right, so Ohtani watch time for us here after last night. My goodness gracious, Seattle fans chanting his name during the All-Star game. Come to Seattle.
Was
Ohtani.
Great. I loved it. I don't know about you. Did you like it? I loved it.
I think it's an awesome. It's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Right.
It's exactly what you're supposed to do. You have a chance. The guy's going to be a free agent. Ichiro set the bar. You know what Ohtani could do on the West Coast in Seattle. He would feel very much at home. He would feel very comfortable in that market, and they would love him for the next decade. Can they pay him? I don't know. Shoot your shot. If you're, it's your one shot, you got him. Go ahead and shoot your shot for him.
They were asking Betts and Freddie Freeman in their ear while they were in the field because they were chanting it while they were in the field. And they're like,
he was batting, yeah.
Guys, how do you feel about that? And I mean, it was awesome. Freddie goes, that would be tampering. I can't answer that.
That's a good line.
But and then Mookie goes, but if he is talking to all the different teams, LA is not a bad place to play, And I was like, this is openly being discussed by every guy.
Well, it's being talked about by Shohei. After the game, Shohei said that he wants to play for a winner. It, quote, sucks to lose, and that he likes Seattle. He said, I like it here. I like this market. He's already talking like a player who is preparing to be playing somewhere else. I mean, he's already interested. He's already having that conversation about when you start saying it sucks to lose, that's bad.
can't imagine how much money this guy's going to get.
$70 million. How many years? I just want to know. I think it's 60 to 70 million per. But the question is how many years and what team wants to step up, because you're going to make it back. That's the thing. Whether you win or lose, if you're in the right market, Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Boston.
Say Pittsburgh. You could say it.
I can't. How big's your Asian population in Pittsburgh?
They'll come from all over.
Get out of here. Okay, stop. So
what do you mean? It don't even have to be.
People in Japan
population.
can't find Pittsburgh on a map. Come on now. Okay, they don't travel. People in Asia don't come to Pittsburgh. They don't go like, let's go on a trip to
crazy.
Pittsburgh.
That's a big international market. There's a Google there. There's a lot of things there.
They don't come to travel there. Tourism doesn't. You don't go there. It's not like a bucket list thing.
They will. That ballpark will. They will come just like
or they'll just wait for him to go to the West Coast and go see him there because it's a shorter flight than flying to Pittsburgh. There's 4 or 5 markets in America that will be automatic. You will make the money back regardless of what your team does with Ohtani on the roster. Seattle might be the most profitable. I mean, it's ridiculous. Ichiro was insane in Asia. They sold so many, t-shirts, hats, whatever. Yeah. LA, the Dodgers, monster, just absolutely would crush it. We saw what the Red Sox have done with, Daisuke when he was there, and now with Yoshi, and having both Yoshi and having Ohtani on the same team would make the Red Sox skyrocket in Asia. They're already huge there anyway, but they'd be even bigger if you could do that. I can't wait to watch this because the numbers are going to be monopoly money type stuff. The Yankees aren't going to go down without a fight. The Yankees are going to get involved. Yankees are not going to just watch on the sidelines and say, oh yeah, let him go somewhere else. Best player ever, maybe potentially. Yeah, right. I mean, the Yankees are going to throw. It could turn into an arms race between the Yankees and the Dodgers, and nobody else can play in that field.
Maybe. I don't know. What about the Mets?
The Mets could be involved, but the Mets payroll they've already proven what just happened. Their payroll is $75 million more than anybody else this year. Like, I don't know what is Steve Cohen's threshold for paying the luxury tax?
I don't know. The Juice just came in and chat and said people in Asia don't even know what Pittsburgh is. That's not true. And you spelled it correctly, the Juice. So that's nice. SoCal DGen said Mariners, Dodgers, Giants, Padres. That's Ohtani's short list.
I disagree with that. I get his point. He wants to play on the West Coast, but I think you have to at least acknowledge that there's a chance that Boston and New York are involved. Both New York teams are involved, that the Red Sox are involved. You at least have to acknowledge that he will take a look. He will at least, if nothing less, to drive the price up to the team he wants to go to.
Can you imagine if he goes to Texas?
No, there's no way he's playing in that. He won't. No, he doesn't like the heat. He has said he doesn't like humidity, and that he does not. It doesn't help his
likes
brand.
Money.
I know, but it doesn't. There's no brand.
Likes no state tax.
Play at the A's then. I mean,
he could go up to. He could go to Texas. They would own the AL West for the next 5 to 10 years. Seager's locked up. Simeon's locked up.
I think he wants to leave the American League. I think if he leaves the Angels, he wants to leave the American League.
What the hell does that mean? What
he won't play because if you go to Seattle, you're playing the Angels 13 times a year. If you go to the Rangers, you're playing the Angels 13 times. I mean, there's still some. I mean, he's got all friends there. He's friends with Trout. I mean, that's it's you see that team. You become Benedict Arnold. You get booed. You get booed heavily.
Who cares? He'll get booed in Anaheim for leaving.
Yes, 100%.
No chance. They love that guy.
Right. If he leaves, doesn't stay there, every fan base gets pissed off when you go somewhere else.
They don't get mad about that stuff in California. What are you talking? They're not like the back east crowds. Stop.
Oh, I think
they're going to cheer. He didn't do nothing wrong. The team didn't pay.
Well, what if they do? What if they try? What if they make every effort? What if they match?
The Angels are going to try?
I don't know. It's a great question. They did with Trout. I didn't think they would with Trout. Remember? I said, Mike Trout, get the hell out of there. Mike Trout took their contract. Mike Trout took the money. I wanted Mike Trout anywhere but the Angels. I want Ohtani anywhere but the Angels. Get the hell out of that franchise.
I mean, I don't know. I heard a couple of guys talking last night on MLB. they're talking about like it being the right move to trade him.
It is the right move to trade him.
I know. Well,
but they're not going to. It is the right move. The right move is read the tea leaves. He's not playing for you next season. Get whatever you can for him now.
Right.
You're not going to contend. Trout's hurt. Who knows how long he's going to be out for. Your pitching has been a little bit above what you thought it was going to be this year. Could be a big regression in the second half. You have an asset that literally has an expiration date on it. You have to take advantage of it. I don't care. I'm not being the guy that went down. This is not Babe Ruth. This is not No Nanette. This is not the same situation. You aren't selling him to go finance some stupid passion project. Okay? You're not doing that. You're recognizing that you're going to lose him because, in 1918, there wasn't, or 1917, whatever it was, that there wasn't a free agent market. There's going to be a free agent market. And he is pretty much telling you, I'm looking around. I'm going to shop. I'm going to go see what else is out there. I mean, once you go on the market like that, you're going to leave because Anaheim's ballpark is trash. The franchise has done nothing with Mike Trout.
Oh.
It is. That ballpark's awful. I hate that park. It's so bad. It's literally the most plastic of ballparks in all of baseball. The fake rocks in center field, the way that, everything, the game production. I had second row off the field seats for the Red Sox and the Angels for 3 straight days. And I just kept on going, this ballpark sucks. Like, this is tough. Like, coming to this thing, I get why people don't want to come to this thing. It's in a weird part of California to begin with.
It's right down the street from Disneyland. What are you talking
about? It is. It's in a weird part of California. You don't go there thinking I want to go to a baseball game. The ballpark, there's parking. The best thing about the whole park is parking is really great. It's huge.
Parking is great.
Gigantic parking lot that's really easy to find parking. That's the best part of about that ballpark. I would blow that thing up and demo it and build a new one. If I could, I'd blow it up. I hate that thing. I think it hurts. It hurts your attendance. It hurts Trout. It hurts everything. So I would trade him. I mean, if I was I would take the heat. I would take who cares? You're doing what's best for your franchise because you might be able to get 3 or 4 outstanding prospects back for him.
Well, CBW said it in the chat. Scratch the Angels as a potential show sponsor.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. But if they actually were even considering it up to this point, they have not been listening. Because I've said way worse things about the Angels than what I just said. So remember what I said about during the Mike Trout negotiations. I said Mike Trout was an absolute moron for re-signing there.
Yes, you did.
He should run from that franchise, run away from the Anaheim Angels, Los Angeles, whatever. And Shohei should do the same thing. He should walk in there and be like, guys, just so you know, you don't have to trade me this year, but I'm not signing here. So it's up to you what you want to do, but I'm wearing a different uniform next year because
the Yankees play at the Angels after the break.
They want him to be the bad guy. The Angels want Ohtani to be the bad guy. Say trade me. They want a trade request. If they could get a trade request, they'd be in heaven.
It doesn't matter. He keeps showing up for work and being Shohei. It's like somebody in the chat. I go back and find it. Who said it? Did Brady get booed when he went back to Gillette?
Ohtani's not Brady. Brady won 6 championships. It's not even a logical argument. That makes no sense.
Okay, but I'm just telling you, they're not booing him when he goes back. They're not booing him.
Johnny Damon got booed. Right, Johnny Damon got booed to high hell.
Johnny Damon was a hired assassin that played in 2 or 3 places before he got there.
And what did he do in Boston?
Shohei Ohtani has
what did he do in Boston?
One place.
Who is Johnny Damon the most closely associated with? If you ask a fan on the street, who does Johnny Damon play for? Who do you play for? The Red Sox. He went to the Yankees. They made shirts from Jesus to Judas that everyone wore in Boston. They booed him to hell.
Guys, I know, but you guys that's what you
Wade
do
Boggs.
up there. They don't do
Wade
that
Boggs.
in other cities. They don't do that in Orange County.
What happened to Roger Clemens? Like, if you go inside the division, fans don't like it. Okay, fans don't like when you do that. When you go from one team into the division, they don't like it. They get pissed off when you go. You got to see him a bunch of times all year competing against you. And that was our guy. He was ours for a while, and now he's gone.
and it's not his fault. It's the team's fault. That's what they'll say.
Maybe.
Believe me, I lived in Pittsburgh. I watched guys leave all the time. They didn't get booed. They got just like,
no one got booed.
It's the team's fault. You know who's booing? They're booing the owner. They're mad at the owner.
Nobody boos Garrett Cole in Pittsburgh.
He comes back once every 3 years.
Okay, I'm just saying when he comes back, like that's why he went outside.
No,
he went to the American League.
Move on.
He went to the American League, which is why I think Ohtani goes to the National League. I think it's smart. Go to the National League. You avoid all of that.
So that leaves the Dodgers or the 8 California teams, Giants or Padres. That's it.
Yeah, right. And I think that's
going to the Mets.
I think that's
the
three.
If he goes to the Phillies, we might as well just build a damn World Series trophy and plant it there.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. And Phillies have the money. The Phillies have the money to pay him. If they wanted to. I don't think he'll go there. I think what SoCal said is right. If you're handicapping, I think the 3 National League teams in the California in the state of California are 1, 2, 3, and then Seattle would be 4 for where he could wind up. Padres, I think, are a little bit out of it though, because I think in order for the Padres to get Ohtani, they'd have to move a lot of players, and they probably would, but they'd have to move a bunch of guys. Like the Padres aren't really going to be the
ain't staying. Soto's not staying in San Diego, I don't think.
When's that contract come out of the off the books?
He's through after next year, and then I think he's either got one more year or he can go do whatever, decline the option, and then go.
Okay.
So he's going to get the money.
So that's fair. Okay. So then you could afford it.
Soto walks anything because
it's a pretty big swap, but it would work. Money wise, it would work. So yeah, I think the Padres are definitely, I think they're the third best option. I think the Giants are a monster threat to get Ohtani. Absolute monster. Him in that market. Oh my goodness. Huge Asian population in San Francisco.
Right.
That's like going home for him. I mean, he will be so comfortable in San Francisco.
Sharpie _RW said he already chose the West Coast once. He will again.
Fair. I think that's a very fair read. Again, I don't argue that.
The only team on the West Coast that we can rule out is Oakland. There's no chance he's going to Oakland.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, look, I would cross out Diamondbacks. I would cross the Diamondbacks off, by the way. I mean, I think that's a West Coast team.
Not on the West Coast.
Arizona's not the West Coast?
No, it's a mountain. It's not a
West Coast. What month of the year you're in. So you don't think Vegas is a West Coast team? You don't think the Golden Knights are a West Coast team?
I guess so, because we
on the coast.
But I meant California. I meant the West Coast, the actual coast. We're West Coast time zone,
right?
But we're landlocked.
Yeah,
he's not going to like the summer.
Baker's, so wait, so Sacramento's not, the Kings aren't a West Coast team?
He's not going to. No, they're in California. They're on the coast.
They're not on the coast. They're landlocked.
How far away were they from the beach?
Hour and a half.
How far away are we?
3.5.
They're closer.
I'm just saying.
And they're in California.
I think Sacramento's a West Coast team. I think
this is the geography portion of the show.
Just saying.
Somebody can sponsor that.
You're just
get like Waze.
You're just changing things up as to what is a West Coast team. They have to be physically on the coast. But there are California teams not on the coast.
Just like
Sacramento's not on the coast.
It's in the Mid-Atlantic. We've gone through this many times.
You're talking about me being bad. You in geography. You're bad at geography. I bet you bet a lot of things. You just make things up as to what factors into what is a coast team. We're in the West Coast.
Pittsburgh
Vegas
is in the Atlantic. It has been for decades.
We're still on that host. We're still going with I cut you off. What were you saying?
I said we need a geography sponsor, Rand McNally. That's a great one, Otto. Can we get them?
Rand McNally, but okay.
McNally.
No, you're close. Rand McNally. You were close.
That's the way.
Rand McNally. Sure, yeah. Whatever. Rand McNally. I'm sure they'd love to have a sponsor because paper maps are such the rage now. Everyone's loving the paper map world.
My dad used to say that all the time, and we used to do that to him. Like, Dad, what is it? And he'd say it again, and we'd just laugh, my brothers and I. But
why did they create an app? Like, what happened to that company? Like Rand McNally was like the map company. Why did they create a Rand McNally app?
That's a very good question.
Right? Where did they go? Like, what happened to that? Like, just because people still sell those in gas stations around the country. You can still buy
all over.
an actual physical map, and they're always Rand McNally maps. Like it's always this one company that fold out ridiculous, like huge thing that you're driving in the cars that our kids have no idea what we used to do. You're trying to figure out like, what is that, a left or a right? I don't know. It's sideways, but you around. It's upside down.
What Jessica's so bad with the maps, we literally got to turn the map. I got to go, Jess, look, we're going this way. We're going this way. Now you understand. Right. Oh, okay. But when you drive to Arizona, there's everywhere you stop in between, Wiki Up, Wickenburg, all that stuff. You walk into a convenience store. The first thing when you walk in is the map display.
Right.
It's still there.
The spinner. Yeah. The little spinner thing.
Right.
Yeah. That's really funny. There's a good song by Death Cab for Cutie that just came out a couple of years ago that sings about Rand McNally. It's pretty funny. It's
really,
yeah, it's really good. It's like, oh yeah, we used to all do that. Like kids are like, wait, what? What did you do? Yeah, we actually had physical maps that we bought in gas stations, and we would stop to ask for directions.
Yeah, there was actually, there was no GPS.
There were marriages that ended over. I'm not stopping. Will you please stop? I'm not stopping.
It says to go this way. It doesn't say anything. Read the map right. Pull over.
In the 90s, one of the most fun things for us as locals in Boston would do is you would watch the fights that would happen between families because they would be in there for the summer. And Boston makes no sense at all with the map, without a map. If you don't know where you're going, you get one way, you're going the wrong way. Dad's annoyed. Mom's furious. They're yelling at each other in the middle of the street. It was always like, where are you from? Because they're not from where they're, the rental car. So they got Boston plates, but they're not actually from Massachusetts. My kids were laughing at me 2 summers ago when we went up there for 2 days and we drove around Boston for about an hour. And I would get off the wrong place, and then I had to go around, and I'm like, oh, I'll just go off and get off. And I did it again, like over and over.
Because I couldn't get over in time, and I couldn't figure out when to get. And then the one-lane road, one-way streets, and I was like, then I was driving, and all of a sudden there was a tunnel, and then it wasn't, and I was like, what just happened here? What is this? This is like a. When you drive, you realize it was meant for a horse and buggy. It was never meant for. You told me that, and you were absolutely. Listen, I give you a lot of crap when you're wrong about stuff. You're 100% right about that. They just put pavement down and painted lines on these horse and buggy roads in Boston, and just said, "Oh, we're driving now." Like we're not going to redesign anything. We're not going to change anything. We're just going to drive. Because then you go to North End, if you ever want to have like a mild heart attack driving, drive in the North End for the first time because the roads are not wide enough for 2 cars. And then they park cars on the sides of the road. So not only are the cars not wide enough to go 2 ways, now there's cars on the side of the road. So now only 1 car can go. So who gets to the right of way means who gets to the spot first. And then you end up staring at each other going, okay, who's going to go back? Because someone's got to go in reverse to let me go forward so I can get around you because only one of us can get through this current little predicament. It's unbelievable. In particular in the summertime when all the tourists are in town, everyone wants to go to Hanover Street. So, yep. Quick timeout before we get to the Brigade Proxy Store today. I just looked up at my TV. ESPN is on, and they're debating that the Lakers regular season win total is 46.5. It was 43.5 as of yesterday. And Rich Paul said that LeBron is extra committed to the Lakers this season. And now it's 46.5. Can you imagine having to talk about that right now? Like, because if you would have put that in the rundown, I would have blasted you for it. You already know that. You would have never put the Lakers season
interested in that.
In the rundown.
Yeah, not even interested in that conversation.
Not even close.
I mean, NBA basketball win totals now?
Why?
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 Baseball win totals now. If you want to do a win total segment, talk about can the Braves win X? Are the A's going to be the worst team ever? Is there value on the Phillies to win the pennant? Well, I mean, we're talking about NFL season win stuff, and we're talking about, college season win stuff. The NFL starts in a month. No, I know, but and we don't even have all the information. Like talking about the NBA right now is no. Is a hard no. Hard no. It's an absolute. What are we talking about here with this Brigade Proxy story today? The Jets are on Hard Knocks. I mean, okay. Do you know how happy I am about this? This is so good. Well, the Hard Knocks curse, right? Yes. No team Only one team's ever made the playoffs being on Hard Knocks. Only one team has ever made the playoffs being on Hard Knocks. And now you've got the Jets with cameras all over Aaron Rodgers. This is phenomenal. The guy who already is anal, crazy, and completely paranoid is now going to have every single thing he says and does on a practice field taped and viewed and put out for public consumption.
He's not going to be user friendly for this.
Hell no. He's going to be awful. They're going to want constant Aaron Rodgers content, and he's not going to give him anything.
Nothing.
I love it. This is awesome. This is exactly the distraction I want for the New York Jets. This is perfect.
Do you think he's still going to go on Pat during the season?
Yes.
I think he does.
Yes.
I haven't talked to those guys yet about it, but I'd
be very surprised. I mean, probably part of the deal. ESPN's probably baked in, and Aaron's probably getting a bigger cut, probably getting a bigger check. Because ESPN will be in love with that content.
They already are. They've been cutting it and
Right.
putting it on all their shows for 2 years.
Right. So now they get to own it. Now it's theirs. Now they can sell sponsorships around it. Now they can do all sorts of things with it. Yes, Aaron Rodgers will still be on Pat.
I hope they don't end up killing it.
They won't kill it, but they'll still be Pat and Aaron, but Aaron's going to be, I think one of the cool features about that interview was that ESPN had to constantly, credit the Pat McAfee show when he had Aaron Rodgers. So it was always courtesy of the Pat McAfee show, Aaron Rodgers coming on. They had to constantly acknowledge that they did not have access to Aaron Rodgers, but Pat did. Somebody outside of their network had the biggest interview with the number one quarterback in the NFL every week, making news consistently every week during that interview. So, yeah, I think he goes on that. I think it goes part of the overall package.
I try to watch Hard Knocks every year.
I love it. I've always loved it.
I always loved it, but now it's become so, I don't know. I just don't. I'd rather watch, in August, like good baseball games, good TV shows. Like if it's produced well, I'll watch it. When it's forced, it's so bad.
I know, but the last time that the Jets were on it, he gave us one of the most iconic lines ever from Rex Ryan saying, "Let's go get a snack." That people say, I say it all the time still. People say it all the time. Like, there are some moments.
Say it again.
You don't remember when Rex Ryan said, "Let's go get a fucking snack"? Remember, he's yelling at the team. He's yelling. He's sitting in front of the team. He's yelling. He's going crazy. He's getting all mad at his team. And then he goes, "Let's go get a fucking snack." It's one of the most iconic lines ever.
I remember it now that you said it. I did not remember it until you said it. But
that's the last time the Jets were on Hard Knocks.
That was actually a good Hard Knocks, but that probably got Rex to the TV career.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. That or the foot fetish thing, but
it's a whole nother thing. It had nothing to do with it had nothing to do with getting him on the team.
No, the foot fetish thing definitely exposed him to a whole different level of people, and then he got to joke around with it all the time. And he was on TV. He would talk about kickers, and people would be like, "Of course, you're talking about kickers. You're obsessed with feet. Like that's all you want. That's all you want to do is talk about kickers." Ryan loves, as we know, Rex Ryan has a massive foot fetish.
Putting on my dark glasses for this take.
What he's got. It's not even a take. It's his reality. It's okay. We all got our kinks. It's whatever gets your rocks off, dude. I hear you.
I'm never getting off late night.
He likes his woman. He likes his wife's feet a lot, as we learned.
Yeah, it's important. You got to take care of your feet. Both boys and girls, you got to take care of your feet.
I don't get the guys who pay for pics of women's feet. I don't understand that at all.
What?
I don't get it.
There's people that do that?
Dave, sometimes I don't think you live on Earth. Like sometimes I really think you live in your own bubble. That you don't actually live on the same planet that we all
pay for the pics of the feet.
Do you ever see an attractive woman on Instagram or Twitter and they cover their feet up? That's not by accident. That's on purpose.
Why? Because they got the funky feet?
No, because guys want to pay them for their feet pictures. And they
hold on. They take the whole body and all other stuff, and they can say that, but they cover their feet up.
Correct.
Because they pay for the pictures of the feet.
Because guys will pay them for pictures of their feet. Yes.
I got to call my wife after the show. I cannot believe this.
This is a ride that you don't know this. Yes, this is a very large part of the internet. People, every single
Pay a lot of money for the feet pictures.
Ask any female you've ever done TV with. Have they been propositioned by somebody in their DMs to buy pics of their feet? And I guarantee you, every single one will say yes. Every single one.
I know this firsthand that they've been asked about pictures of their feet, but I didn't realize they could charge like a lot of money for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's like only fan accounts for feet pictures. Yeah.
There's only fan accounts for feet pictures? What's wrong with you people?
That's why I asked. I think women's feet are attractive, but I don't find them to be erotic. Like, I don't find them to be like, oh my God, that's incredible. There's other parts of the female anatomy I find way more attractive than their feet.
Listen, guys do the up down. They check everything from hair to feet.
Correct. But some guys, like, the feet thing is their thing.
They
like,
start and stay at the feet.
Correct. That's their thing. Yeah. That's their go-to. I don't know. There was a whole cycle. I read
get out more. If you're only looking at the feet, you got to get out more.
There's supposedly
to take care of the feet, but
there's supposedly a brain connection that for certain humans, certain guys, that it's a little bit of like a twist to the sensory in your brain as to why you find feet attractive. It's got something to do with like your overall endorphins and everything else, how your brain is wired in the womb. Is what causes you to actually have a foot fetish. It's like a one twist. They figured it out why there are certain guys who really like feet a lot. It's a brain function. It's very odd. I don't have that.
I always check it out, and I see how important the feet are in this house to the ocean of estrogen.
Okay.
It's very important that they have their feet done and taken care of. I'm going to have to ask the teenagers about this. I don't know what's going on. I gotta find out about if they know about this. This might be you could get paid for taking pictures of your feet. This is unbelievable. Yes. Like a lot of money.
Do you really want to know what they do with those pictures though?
No, I don't care.
Like, I care. I care. If it's going to be my family member involved, I do want to know who's I don't want to know. That's why I'm not giving it to them. Like, you're not paying no, not happening. Opening yourself up to a whole world that I do not want any part of. No thanks.
A friend of a friend here.
Yeah.
She's crazy. She gets random texts from people. And she sent a picture of like, it's, she'll get a text like, hey, how are you? Right. And instead of just ignoring it or deleting it, she'll be like, oh, I'm great. And then it'll open up a conversation. It's with a wrong number.
Right. But
it's a friend of my wife, and she likes to have fun with randoms. So the other day she did it, and she's so witty. She sent a picture of her kid's feet. He's got caveman feet, hairy toes that spread apart real far. And she said, I'm just working on my toes.
Oh,
and she sent it to him. And I'm like, that's awesome. You're really crazy. Like, you're absolutely insane. But I had no idea we were going to talk about feet today. It didn't appear in the rundown.
No, it did not. Before we let go of Sports Grid, let's get this in. Let's get our conference title conversation of the day. Today's on a Wednesday. It is the ACC. We, by the way, are keeping track. We're posting all of these on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the Book. So if you miss any part of the Big 10 or Big 12, you can go back and watch it. If you're watching on Sports Grid, you missed the Big 12 yesterday. So you can go back and watch that on our YouTube channel, our breakdown of what's going to happen for the Big 12. Today being the ACC. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the odds here for the ACC title. Clemson at plus 155 at FanDuel, Florida State plus 185. Pretty interesting two-team race because it jumps to Louisville, North Carolina, NC State that are both way off the pace here for
all
these.
All of which have no chance, right?
Pretty much have no chance. So let's just quickly run the schedules here for these two teams because it is going to be an interesting conversation to see. This is the schedule for which one's this? This is Clemson's schedule. Okay. Let me pull that down for a second so we can see the full schedule. Okay, there's full schedule. Duke in week 1, Charleston Southern in week 2.
Charleston Southern has a football team?
Yep. Okay. Florida Atlantic, not the basketball team, the football team, Florida Atlantic. And then the game, Florida State, September 23rd, at home. This is the game of the year in the ACC. Early in the year. They could play again in the championship, but early.
And let's see what the number would be for that.
I'm going to say Clemson is -6.
It's not a bad number, Perrault. Just under a touchdown is what you're thinking?
I think so, yeah. That's my gut. That's my gut.
September 23rd, you said?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Clemson.
Man, there's so many games to find. Oh, it's 3. Clemson -3. Wow. Okay. So super live there for Florida State. That's what that tells me.
It's the game of the year in the ACC. I mean, it really comes down to the winner of that game. You know, then they go at Syracuse. They're home against Wake. Wake got a quarterback question. Syracuse is awful. Miami on the road for Clemson.
Whoa. Syracuse is awful.
It's Syracuse. They're awful. Yes. Syracuse is awful.
Somebody came in the chat yesterday and said, would we mention Syracuse during the ACC preview? We mentioned Syracuse 3 times. You bet over, you win, cash all tickets. Go.
Fine. Syracuse, I can't stand you.
Oh.
FYI. So
why don't you save that for when you get rid of this schedule so you can look into the camera and tell all of the orange people.
All you Newhouse people can go fly a kite. All of you can go fly a kite. I'll dealt with you my entire career. You're incestuous.
We're not Syracuse guys.
We're not.
It's hard for us to make it in this business not being Syracuse guys.
I'm a UMass guy. They hate us. Then NC State on the road could be a challenge. That's not an easy W.
That's a tough game.
That could be a tough game for Clemson.
At Miami can be a tough game, no?
Could, yep. And it needs to be for Miami's sake because of what's happened recently. Miami needs to have a good season.
Right.
Notre Dame, though, in Clemson, it's a really tough game for Clemson. I mean, they play Florida State and Notre Dame both at home, but those are 2 tough games right there. That's Now, I get it. Notre Dame last year at the end of the year, different team than they were at the beginning part of the year, but you got to think that they're going to take a step forward. They're going to be better than they were last year. And then it's Georgia Tech at home against Carolina and then at South Carolina, which is always a tough game because it's an in-state rivalry game. But what's similar to what you mentioned yesterday about Texas is very similar to Clemson. They don't go anywhere. They don't go anywhere.
Yeah, they go play in a dome in
at Syracuse. That's it. That's the only time they leave the
go
South.
To Florida and play in Miami.
Yep, and they go to Florida.
And stay in the Carolinas the whole season.
North Carolina or South Carolina, they don't go anywhere. Their travel is very advantageous. That's the opposite of Florida State. All right. Florida State's got the monster game against LSU.
Wait, you skipped the Duquesne Dukes.
Okay, sorry. I'm not talking about the Duquesne Dukes.
The Duquesne Dukes are going to Florida? They're going to get whacked.
Yeah. And there's 2 bye weeks in this schedule on top of that, which is really interesting.
Get 2 bye weeks? That ain't even legal, is it?
Because they're starting in way week 0. They play August 27th. They play an August game.
Oh.
So they play week 0. So they're one of the few Power 5 teams playing a week 0 game. So they're playing there. Then they're playing against LSU, and then they have a bye week after that. The LSU game in New Orleans, that game could be a really big game for us.
That's going to be gigantic.
And it might be also, we all might be together for that game. So there might be something.
What in the hell is that game? What is the line on that game?
LSU.
September 4th?
I'm going to say LSU minus 3.5.
Home?
LSU minus 3.5.
September 4th. Oh, that's in between because the games are on the 2nd.
Yep.
So that's a Monday standalone?
No, Sunday game. Sunday standalone. There's 4 games on that day. It's the biggest game of the day. NFL is off till the following week. That's Labor Day Sunday.
Check the calendar.
What do you mean check the calendar? That's Labor Day Sunday.
Why is that not on the list? Oh, here it is. Hold on. LSU 2.5.
Oh, I was close. Shoot. I said 3.5. Under
57.5. Holy crap. September 4th is a Monday.
Wow.
Why do you question everything?
Because I'm reading. Because I'm reading.
You're wrong.
I'm reading.
The 4th is a Monday.
Why? The schedule was wrong.
September 4th is a Monday.
The game
September
is
2nd is
the
Saturday.
game's the,
That's when
the
all
game's
those
the third.
games are.
The game's the third, not the fourth.
No, it's not. It's the 4th. Oh,
The game-
Clemson Duke's the standalone game on the 4th.
Thank you. It's the third. That's
Clemson
wrong.
Duke.
Schedule's
so
wrong.
LSU is Sunday night, the
Yes,
3rd.
Correct.
And then
Because
Clemson Duke
do
is
you know why
Monday?
we know? Because you should know why we know that.
Oh.
That's the party day. That's the game we would watch on Labor Day Sunday.
Oh.
Here in Vegas. That's the game
Did we
would
lock
watch.
that up? Did you lock
No,
that up?
but that's why I know that game is Sunday, because that would be the party day to watch the game.
Oh, hell, I might get one of them chains and stuff for that. We might have to get one of them chains, some LSU chains or something.
So here's the thing:
Oh,
everyone loves Florida State, but they travel. They go to Florida. They go to Louisiana, which is not that far of a trip. But then they go to Kentucky, take on Louisville, not a good team. Then they play at home against BC, at home against Wake Forest. They go to NC State, which is a little bit of a trek for them, not huge, but a little bit of a trek for them. Then they play Clemson at home, and then a bye week. Their last 4 games, Georgia Tech, at Miami, at Syracuse, in Louisville, are all not Georgia Tech, but the 3 of the 4 could be sneaky. Those aren't walking the parks for Florida State. They should win
not.
them. They should win. And then they end the season against Florida, which is an SEC team coming to their place
Who could be better than people think?
with a really good coach who's got that thing clicking. And I know Richardson's not there, but he's been recruiting his ass off. So I don't know. Everyone loves Florida State. With this schedule, I'm not so sure I love Florida State. I think this is Clemson's year still. To win the ACC, I think Clemson still has the inside track. I still think Clemson's the team that's going to wind up winning it.
Yeah, but Clemson can only lose 1 game.
Well, not to win the division, not to win the conference, rather. I think Clemson could win the conference and not make the college worlds and not make the college football
Of course, the ACC has had that problem too.
playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very real possibility. The quarterback conversation. DJ Ugalele, by the way, got drafted last night in baseball
by the Dodgers
in the 20th round. He might wind up playing baseball, forget football. But they got that young kid with the big arm that they're all psyched about at Clemson. They think it's going to be a bounce back year. I don't know. I think Dabo may have lost his touch a little bit, but I still think they can win the ACC. I don't think Florida State's ready.
Right.
So I still think the bet would be right now. I think the bet would be on Clemson to win the ACC.
And no one else.
Florida State's the only other team. FSU is the only team that might possibly contend, but I'll still take Clemson to win that game.
Let's see. Geez, it really is nobody else, is there?
No, I mean it's a chasm between those two teams. Everybody else.
Chasm. You should pull out that word. That was a nice use of that. That was good. There's a lot of people that can't say it. There's a lot of people that can't say Duquesne either. It's spelled Duquesne. I've heard Duquesne in the books for years. It's Duquesne. Duquesne Dukes. Florida State, and then Louisville, North Carolina, no. NC State, no. Wow. Talk about a leap.
Yeah, it's bad.
There's 4 teams less than 10-1. Louisville and North Carolina are 750, and North Carolina's plus 850. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's 22-1. Miami's 23. Pitt's 25. And then it just gets absurd. The numbers just keep adding zeros.
Right. It's impossible.
Blewett was on yesterday, which, by the way, Blewett did a great job.
He was good,
If you guys haven't heard, go back and listen to Blewett's interview. But BC's 120-1.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, seriously, what is going on up there?
Nothing. Same thing's been going on for 30 years. It's Boston College. They're the Vanderbilt of the ACC. I mean, let's be honest. What they are,
boy.
they're an automatic W. They're in the conference to pad the stats of the teams that are good. That's reality. I mean, look,
Sucks to be at that school.
I worked at Virginia. Okay, I was there when they were good. I was there when I was covering it when they had a
right.
Virginia's haven't been relevant since I left.
They won a college basketball championship. Not
Great
that long ago.
football. We're talking not basketball. Football. I'm not talking
Some
about what's
schools
going on.
are good at football. Some
Correct.
good at basketball. It's very hard to be good at both. The ACC is a basketball conference.
It is, but it also has had a football program or two to make some noise. Virginia's not made any noise.
They had.
Clemson won 2 championships.
I mean, come on. They can't even. You just said it. They could not get to the playoffs.
Yes.
They could win a conference, not get to the playoff.
Very possible. Yes, I think it's very good. Their schedule is not great. Sports Grid, thank you so much. We'll be back coming up tomorrow night with you guys for you live on Twitter and YouTube. As always, time for bonus time. One
Chat wants to know: do you like feet?
I tell you, like I'm not a feet guy. I'm not.
I love feet.
I like them, but I'm not like that. Doesn't like if a girl has like really gnarly feet, that could be a really big turnoff for sure. It can hurt more than it can help. Like I like cute feet, but it's not like I require it. I'm not searching for it. I'm not walking around looking down, going like looking at feet. At the beach, I'm not looking at feet at the beach.
Well, at the beach, like, see, that's the question. Like, if you're at the beach and you're looking at the feet, maybe look up. Maybe
That's
just,
my point.
seriously,
there's like
when you're
5 other
out-
things I'm looking. Right, there's 5 parts I'm looking at first before I'm looking at feet. It's part of the conversation, but it's not the starter.
I mean, like Sydney was on the show when we were down at Circa, and she
Correct.
mentioned the tan lines on her feet. And
By the way, you should be on Instagram because she posted the funniest pictures in the world about her tan lines. And I was talking with her back and forth going, I said, you and I, we talked about this. She said, yes, we did. She literally was showing her tan lines. It was ridiculous.
Are they bad?
Oh, yeah. Funny. They changed, I guess Circa Swim actually changed their bikinis.
Shoes. They did.
Yeah. So now there's different, I guess maybe they're complaining they heard about the tan lines because her tan line was crazy looking.
Really?
But now she's wearing that different. She was posted a picture yesterday on it, but her birthday was like 2 days ago or something like that.
Oh, I gotta reach out and say happy birthday to her. But I mean, I always check from head to toe. I'm a guy. I usually check from head to toe, and I watch how much care the girls put into their feet.
Right.
It's very important
To them.
Would you say gnarly feet can ruin it? Gnarly feet can be bad.
Oh yeah. If you got jacked up feet, you can definitely change. Like you got feet like a guy. Yeah. They could definitely be like,
Feet
oh
like
boy.
a guy.
Yeah. You ever seen like when toes are going the wrong angle and like they got bunions everywhere and it's nasty. It's like, oh boy. Yeah. But guys' feet, I mean, guys generally aren't very attractive, but like that's the same thing you would say with any chewed up part of the body can be unattractive. Feet and hands, man hands. You ever see that Seinfeld with man hands?
Oh, it's tremendous. One of the best of all time. That was great, man.
Great Seinfeld.
Yeah. I mean, we used to say bye to meat when we had the meat sponsor.
Yep. They're coming
Take
back.
care of your feet. I mean, we could put that on it.
Oh, sure. I mean, look,
I mean, you got.
have you ever done the pedicure?
I have not. I'm really
I have
touchy
not.
about who touches my feet.
Okay.
I'm not ready to just put it in a bucket and let some
I
stranger.
don't care. I would do it. I never have done it, but I would do it. Go to work. I don't care. That doesn't bother me any. But I haven't done the pedicure and I haven't done the manicure. And I know men here in Vegas that will swear by it. Both. Like it's part of their whole entire health routine.
We got a couple people that watch the show that are taking care of their dads and stuff like that. I did it for a year here with my dad, and one of his favorite things in life to do was to go get a manicure and pedicure. So every Tuesday when I was off from the book, we'd go to the barber shop, get a haircut and a shave, and then go get his feet done and his nails done. And he used to sit there like watching a dog get groomed that likes it.
Mm-hmm.
He used to just sit there like this with his hands, and then he would put his feet up, and I'd have to go for a walk. I'm like, Dad, you're enjoying this way too much. He's like, Dave, leave me alone.
It can be a really relaxing moment, like
beyond relaxing.
Yeah. Do you do massages? Because I can't relax during massages.
So I've done a couple massages with Jess, like we've gone, and I used to go when I was playing hockey a lot. I had like I don't know if he was a yogi or what, but it was a guy that would find these knots in my body that I knew were there, but I couldn't tell someone they were there.
Yeah.
And I would get the massage, but I haven't done it in a while.
One of my coaches sent me this thing because they're working with this new place in Vegas. It's a stretching company.
Tremendous.
So I have this free. I don't like massages.
I'll take it.
No,
if you ain't taking it, I'll take it. Or I'll go with you. I need to be stretched out.
It's a 45-minute stretch out that you go to try it.
I'm going. You text me after the show. Talk. I want to go wherever it is. I'm going. I'm going.
It's called Stretch Fit or something or other.
Whatever.
But so I don't like massages. So I'm going to be curious to see what the difference is between stretching me out versus massaging me. And do I like it more or not? Because I was asking some people that I know do it and they swear by it. They're like, every 2 weeks, you will walk out of there feeling completely different. Like every part of your body will feel loose and you'll feel good and your blood will flow. The endorphins will be rushing through you. Like you've got to at least try it. I'm like, okay, I'll try it. It's free. So I'll go and figure out whether I like it or not. But that's part of.
I'm coming.
You're coming. All right. That's good to know.
Get stretched.
Do you like it? I haven't done it. Time for better to book it, but you know mostly what these bets are because this is the worst day of the year. And I'm just not interested in
I can't even believe you still had this segment today. I thought this wouldn't make the list.
Only from yesterday. I made 2 bets, both in college football last night. And I could bet I'm 2-1 so far betting Summer League. And people are like, what are you betting on Summer League today? I'm like, I'm not. I'm really like, these are the days that I am paid to do a daily picks podcast. So I'm supposed to have action every day.
Right.
This is, DND type of stuff. Like do not disturb. Like I just want, like, this is not, I don't need to be staring at a game or breaking things down. Like I'm not on vacation, but like I am mentally not in the gambling space today. I'll be back tomorrow, back on Friday. But for today, I'm just not really interested in watching anything. I'm just going to check out for the day. So
did the Aces win and cover yesterday? Do you know?
They must have because I saw a tweet about it.
Hold on, I'll tell you.
Because I think
there's a bunch of games.
I think they're 12-1 ATS. There's something ridiculous like that. I just can't get involved. I like WNBA basketball. I bet the playoffs. I don't bet the regular season.
Oh, they won 98-72.
Yeah, they covered.
The total closed 170. Ooh. Can you add up 98 and 72?
It's over.
It's 170.
Oh, on the nose. That's right. Oh,
how good are the numbers getting? Like, it's not getting easier. It's getting harder.
But the line was 12, was it not
17?
Oh,
17. But yeah, I was waiting for you to come with Vegas today at LA.
I mean, I might watch it. I might bet it at some point, but not me. I can't tell you more than 3 players on the Aces. I know nobody on the Sparks. Like it's just, it's just a force. Like my philosophy on betting Summer League has been 2-1. So it's profitable on this level, but like, it's still a dart throw. I mean, I'm still, I'm looking at teams and seeing what teams are sending how many draft picks to Vegas. And I'm betting the team that's got more draft picks than the other. The Kings last night, you were right to fade that. The Kings started the end of the third quarter on a 12-0 run, took a 2-point lead in the fourth quarter. They were favored by 1.5. And then the Bulls ended the game on like a 20-2 run.
Oh God.
Like just ran them off the court in the fourth quarter. And it was just, okay. So I lost that bet. On the other end, the other bet that I made was on the Pelicans. They cruised to a double-digit win, laying 2.5. So like, I'm just putting my feet up. This is a play. Let me explain this to everybody. 1, the number in Vegas at most books is worse than BetMGM as of last night. BetMGM, both in Vegas and outside of Vegas, rarity, they had the same number, 9-1 on Michigan. They are $2 higher than the Westgate here in Vegas. Circa didn't even have their futures up last night for college football. Pulled them down.
They're not up yet. Which
I was like, oh, okay, nothing there. DraftKings also had pulled down their futures last night. FanDuel had it at plus 850. And then someone told me this morning that they changed it to 10-1 this morning. They went up. So somebody came in and bet something with the national championship that moved the numbers in Michigan to get the 10-1. So it's even better. You get 10-1. I took 9-1. The reason, the theory is I just need them to get into the playoffs. In fact, I really just need them to run the table and play in the Big Ten championship game. And then I can work off this.
Exactly.
So it's not so much of a proclamation of me saying Michigan's winning it all. It's got more to do with the fact that I want to be able to play off this because I do think Michigan's going to be in the Big Ten title game. So as long as we get there and they can make the playoffs, 9-1 Michigan. With that theory, betting it or booking it.
You're asking me to bet or book a future on a college football team to win it all
in July.
On the worst day of the sports betting calendar.
That's why we're doing this right now.
Let me flip a coin here. Hold on. No, I'll book it.
Okay.
I'll
Second
take
bet.
my shot.
Week 2, Texas. This number's already moving.
You're going to take the 7?
I'm taking the 7. Give me
Why
Texas
don't you
plus
wait
7.
and take 8?
Because it's not going to go 8. It's already at 6.5. It's already down. Books are moving.
They're setting this up so bad.
For who?
Oh, they're setting
People that bet Alabama or bet Texas? Which is the setup?
They're setting it up to bet Alabama. Oh, my God. Good luck.
This goes up. The number goes up, and they bet.
Oh, no, it closes up.
Closes above 7. Oh, I don't think so. I think you're wrong. I disagree with you. In particular, if whoever wins the quarterback battle looks bad in week 1 against MTSU and Texas.
Say that out loud again. Looks bad against MTSU?
Which is possible. The kid looked. Who's the quarterback for Alabama? They got big questions.
Won't matter.
Okay. I mean,
They're not going to show anything against MTSU.
Great. The line's 38.5. What if Bama wins by 20? They don't cover against MTSU. Texas has a layup home game. They win by 40. It is revenge time. I think, look, Alabama under Nick Saban in non-conference games, the record's stupid. Alabama with Saban against former assistants is stupid. Alabama in return games, ridiculous record. I understand all of this. I think Bama wins the game. But Bama should have lost last year to Texas. And this year's Bama team is worse, arguably, than last year's Bama team. And the only real difference in Texas is that Bijan Robinson is not going to be there. But their wideouts
are a big deal.
But their wideouts are even better than they were last year. And Alabama's secondary couldn't cover Texas last year. And they got better receivers. They got transfer kids who have come in. This receiving core for Texas is outstanding. Offensive line for Texas, outstanding. If they run the football even a little bit against Alabama, that's going to be a game. I think Bama probably wins. But
this is Bama's second game?
Correct. Week 2 at home at Bryant-Denny.
And Texas is going to go in there.
If they win the game, Texas could win the whole damn thing.
No question. You think Saban's going to do summer practice and all this other stuff talking about this game?
It's both teams. That's all they're talking about. Texas and Bama's entire. This is week 1 for them.
Right.
This is not.
Who's Texas's coach?
Sarkisian.
I'll book this bet.
Did you watch Texas Alabama last year?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what happened?
We were watching it together, right? Where were we?
No, that's Tennessee. We
watched that game together.
Yeah,
too.
we didn't watch Texas together. Remember, this was if Quentin Ewers doesn't get hurt in the game.
You're right.
Texas probably wins. Now, I don't think Texas wins at Alabama, but I think it's a game, and I think Texas is going to play Alabama tough in week 2. I think fading Bama this year, I think I've rarely do I ever say that fading Alabama is a smart thing. I think fading Bama this year is going to be smart. I think they could have 2 losses and maybe even 3.
We shall see.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a down year for Alabama until they get their quarterback thing situated. It's a trend. It's a big transition year for Alabama to try to figure out who's going to be the guy, who's going to be able to be, who are their weapons. It's Alabama. I get it, but LSU is going to be in the division. They're going to be damn tough. That's going to be a really fun. Alabama LSU is a game that I would absolutely love to be at this year.
Yep.
Be awesome. It sucks that Tennessee doesn't have Hooker. I wish they had Hooker. The kid they got's okay, but they'd be so much more fun. They'd be just freaking phenomenal.
Yep.
Favorite thing about today is what?
That all these people in the content space, everybody's taking a day off. And we somehow find a way to talk about sports and have this community of people join us for 2 hours. That's phenomenal. We have calls set up later today, the rest of the week, while everybody's on vacation doing stuff about setting up some other things. You mentioned that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, just block it on your calendar. Girls, block it on your calendar.
Labor Day.
We can all compare feet, maybe in person. Maybe we're just going to talk about different things and all kinds of stuff. But no, that is my favorite thing about today, that we found a way to bang out a show amongst all the phone calls. The other favorite thing about today is that I did get the box from Roger Long. Thank you again, sir. Stay by that landline. I promise. We'll find out what time you go to bed. I don't know if I call and wake you up, just hang up the phone or don't answer, and I'll talk to you later. Second, you sent me a text about someone else not being renewed their contract and whatever. Immediate reach out to them. I did and communicated. There's a lot of people finding out right now that they ain't going to have a job now, the rest of the year. They got another month left. We got, a couple guys that watched the show that have been told their division is done. They have another 30 days to work. And then it's a crazy, crazy time. And a lot of people join us listening later after we're done with the show. Watch the show live in here. It's not lost, fellas and girls, boys, girls, whomever you are. Gratitude, gracious. Thank all of you for doing it, because we're going to keep doing it. Because one, me and him just enjoy talking to each other. We do it off the air too, but we got a lot to offer, and you guys are a big part of it. You guys are a big part of the discussion. Every discussion that we've had, people notice the brigade. People notice the banter. People ask about the Discord, which is what again, Perrault?
BVBshow.com.
People ask about Molalabe cigars. People have asked about Wager Wire.
They do.
People have asked about a lot of things. We keep telling them, can't explain it. I cannot put it on a sheet. Stop asking me the value of the people watching the show from all over. We're in bonus time, right?
Oh, yeah.
All over the fucking world.
Yep.
Just want to say that, again, I was tired this morning. I was running around. I was like, got to do the show. This show breathes life into us as much as you guys breathe life into it. That's the best thing about today, on a day that nobody's paying attention and there's no sports going on.
It's very true. So July 12th, birthdays are important to a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's very much a selfish thing, but it's also one of those things where people around you, your family, they know it's your birthday. Your mom calls you, your brothers call you, your sisters call you, aunts, uncles, grandparents. You get the cards in the mail from your family when you're turning, 18, 21. These are all big monumental moments. I couldn't imagine sharing that with a sibling. But my brother and sister, Owen on the right or left, Maggie in the middle there. My daughter is there. That's a picture from Boston. They both were born on July 12th.
How about that?
Their whole life, they have shared this birthday together.
How about that?
So I couldn't imagine, but I wanted to say happy birthday to both of them. It's funny because guys and girls handle birthdays a little bit differently. My brother Owen is happy. He's excited. He's turning 28 years old. It's kind of cool. He's doing stuff. Maggie's got the whole birthday week going. Started yesterday, trips and dinners and all over social media. She turned 24 today. It's a little bit of a bigger deal to my sister. So
this is like the second generation Perraults.
Correct. This is my mother's second marriage. Right. This is me and Ben. We started the show with my brother, Ben, who's from, we have the same dad.
Right.
That was obviously very sad what's going on with my brother. It's a total that's what I mean by a juxtaposition of emotions for me. I'm so sick and sad for my brother and what's going on, but I'm equally really happy for my brother and my sister because they are turning, their birthdays are today. So it's sort of a topsy-turvy.
4 years apart?
Yeah. Ben turns 45 on Friday. So he turns 44. My brother was having the worst week of his
Mama
life.
P was doing some stuff in December a lot.
Well, yeah. I mean, no, it's
November.
It's Labor Day weekend.
November.
Oh. No, it's Labor Day. Yeah,
it's 10 months.
September. Right, because a pregnancy is normally 9 to 10 months, right? So that's in that general range. That's September is yes. It's whatever's been going on. It was late. Someone said to me,
when's Mama P's birthday?
She was the first baby born at Lawrence General Hospital on January 1st, whatever it was. She was born 12.
Her birthday is New Year's?
12:02 New Year's Eve. She was on the front page of the Lawrence Eagle. She was on the front page of the Lawrence Eagle Tribune as the first baby born of the year.
Oh wow! Okay.
Her claim to fame. It's been
okay. So it's not a birthday time for her. So
nope.
Right.
No, it's just a vacation time.
Start of Patriots football season.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, yeah, so she had three kids. Madeline's birthday is July 30th. So I've got 3 brothers and my daughter, my ex Madeline's mom, July 18th. So I've got Cancers and Leos all over my life. Like, I don't know why, but Cancers and Leos are just naturally part of it. So,
and my birthday's August 12th, which
there
is
you go.
a Leo.
You're a Leo, right?
Yes.
Wow, that's Madeline will like to know that. She asked me that once. She said, "What's Dave's sign?" So
Leo,
she'll like the year Leo. So yeah, so to Maggie and to Owen, happy birthday, guys! I hope you have a really fun and special day. It's a big one. In your 20s, it's a big one. Owen's approaching 30. That will be a big one. But hopefully, I know our family is not exactly smiling at the moment because of what's going on with Ben. But hopefully. You guys have a good day and a fun day. So happy birthday to you guys for that. Sports Grid is gone. YouTube and Twitter, you guys are awesome. Thank you. Be a part of the Discord channel, by the way. Again, if you haven't been in, it's a free way of communicating. That we're trying to build that up and get as many people into it as possible. It's bvbshow.com. It's a free app. I know we have a lot of apps on our phone, but it's cool. It's a direct link to us. We can talk about what's going on because Dave's not lying. Like, there are a lot of things right now in the hopper for what might be down the pike, announcements and things that we may be doing. It could be August. The last 2 weeks of August and the first week of September might be extremely busy for us, for not just with the proxy service, but with the show too. We might be out and about and doing
proxy service is busy. We got Mr. C coming this weekend.
Let's go.
Said he's coming to show us his feet.
Okay.
Like a size 15.
Ooh, wow.
Big feet.
I'm 12 and a half. So that's
You got a big foot too.
Yeah. And hands and everything else. So we're back tomorrow, same time. I wasn't going there, but okay.
Go.
Back tomorrow.
Go.
Same